All right, team, sit back, relax. Colby, enjoy your breakfast in your zone two, and let's get into it today. So, this is your fall promo sequence. The intent for today's training, primarily, guys, is to more so give you ideas, right? Because all of you will definitely have your own spin on this, and you all have different ideal clients, and obviously all have different coaching systems and things like that. But for me, training you guys on this now, like what's the date today? The 31st of July, right? Like we're not even close to September yet. But the way that I want to teach this fall promo sequence is a little bit deeper than some of the other clinics or some of the different promotional strategies that we've talked about before. And one in which I think will really help you guys with attracting the right ideal types of clients to you and also having a higher conversion rate from the people who go through this to becoming a client. And I'm going to walk you through that today. So primarily what this is going to look like is a 3-day paid diagnostic and prescription experience that converts trust into clients. So what I mean by diagnostic and prescription is I want you guys to go through an assessment process with your leads. Okay. Because when you go through that assessment process with your leads, what do? You identify the problem that you can solve in a very quick, very effective way. Right. And the reason why I'm talking about this now is because we're obviously this date right here. Right. If we can plan out the systems next week, we can send out invitations to some of your leads the week after. We can go through a promo week with marketing, run the assessments the last week of August, and then sign clients the first week of September. This is a really good flow to kind of reverse engineer what this is going to look like. Right. So I'm going to share this again, but just kind of planting the seed for what this promo strategy can look like for you guys, because you're all, even you, McKenna and Jacob, because you guys are a little bit newer, but even you guys, like you're all in the process now where you're really clear on your systems, you're really clear on your offer, you're really clear on what your onboarding looks like. So essentially, like to communicate this in the most clear way for you guys, essentially what we're doing is we're selling your onboarding in and of itself. Okay. And then they can become a client after the onboarding because now you just have so much data, so much information on someone, and you can accurately describe what that next step is going to look like. So let me give you a couple of different ideas here because we're going to get into marketing and what this looks like. The best idea in the world is this, right? Internet speed test. Like this is obviously for free. And there's so many different internet companies out there. You can just literally Google this that can help you understand how fast your internet is. And then at the end, there's an option to buy their internet, right? But they're not pitching you your internet first. What they're doing is they're helping you identify the problem of how slow your internet is right now. The reason why I know this is because my internet is slow as hell at my office, and I'm trying to fix that. That's why I'm at home right now doing these live calls, and I need to fix that. So I'm using this all the time, but it's brilliant. The reason why it's brilliant is because it's helping me first. Because the definition of value, it's the same thing going to the doctor, right? The doctor doesn't just give you pills or like whatever it may be, like regardless of what you guys think of doctors. First, they ask you questions, right? First, they identify the problem. First, they go through the assessment. And then you have the conversation around what that next step is. So, this is a really good example of kind of what I'm getting at in today's training. Another great example, which is also a perfect, real example of what actually happened to me yesterday, is I'm learning how to play golf. Dennis, I'm gonna have to look you up, man. We're gonna have to hit the link sometime soon. Anyway, I was at the driving range yesterday, and there was like a little setup at the corner of the driving range. Okay, and there was a bunch of different golf pros there, and they had like this exact setup where it was $29, and like literally you could just pay with your phone because we all have our visas on our phone nowadays, and it was literally 15 minutes. It was nothing more than that. $29, 15 minutes, and they do a quick video assessment of your swing, and then they identify different problems right then and there and just help you with your swing just for 15 minutes. It's not a full lesson, okay? Just for 15 minutes. So they identify all these problems and then help you fix it. Now, I went through this yesterday for 29 bucks. Okay. And this is at the driving range. And they identified all these problems with my swing. And I'm like, okay. And they give me a little bit of value, like, hey, fix this. Make sure you bend your elbow this way. Make sure you're looking straight. You straighten your neck this way. And it was really helpful. I'm like, damn, thank you. His name was Adam, great guy. And he's like, yeah, by the way, if you ever want to do a pack of lessons, if you sign up for five lessons today, you get one for free. Guess who signed up for a 5 pack of lessons? $100 each. So it was like $450 package with tax. But now I got lessons with Adam at once a week for the next 4 or 5 weeks. Would I have done that if I didn't go through this experience on the golf course yesterday? Probably not. Probably not. Right. So, and I'm giving you guys some different examples here. But this is a good way that we can run different promos like this periodically throughout the year for your coaching to be able to get some people who might be on the fence in your lead list or inside of just some of the ideal types of clients that you might be talking to right now. Just give them some assessments, give them some value, and then convert a customer into a client, right? Because it's a hell of a lot easier to convert a customer into a client than it is to convert a lead into a client, right? Now, I'm not saying that it's hard to turn leads into clients. It's not like it's definitely doable, and like I do it all the time. You guys do it all the time, but there is something to be said for generating some customers every now and then as well. Actually, great example. A lot of you guys on this call, how you came into lifestyle wealth was from what? Fundamentals mastery, right? Which was a lot lower, obviously, of an investment to just get into my world, right? And just get to know me and me get to know you. And then we can take it from there. So, this is an example of that. And I've reverse engineered this exact protocol for you guys for September. But this is something I just want you guys to slowly think about because I can almost guarantee you've got a good handful of leads who would be a good option for this. Another great example is this mental health online coaching company. They do a free quiz. So it's not paid, it's free. So shout out to you, Justin, because you're crushing it with this right now. It's a free quiz to find out what's going on, understand maybe some different roadblocks or issues that they're currently coming up against. And then there's a non-committal offer at the end if they want to have a consultation with a therapist or a doctor at the end, right? And it's not pushy, but it's just the next step at the end. So essentially what these three examples are that I just showed you, they're just different ways to get people in the funnel. Justin loves quizzes. He does. He's a sucker for a good quiz. Um, no, jokes aside, him and I are really, really focused on that right now. But it's a really good way to get people into your funnel. And I would go out on a limb and say that's one of the hardest things is to get people like raising their hand, right? And saying, hey, I'm interested in that, or hey, I want to opt into that. Like inside of the landscape today in online coaching, that's one of the hardest things is just getting people to commit and have their undivided attention. So the goal with this is very much the example that I just gave at the top of this training is we want to assess first, like before we even talk about coaching, before we send value videos, stuff like that. Let's understand where things are at with this individual. And I'm not saying we're being doctors like this picture suggests, but the doctor protocol is really well done because you ask questions first and you assess first to understand what the problem is. Then you get clarity on the problem. Then you can diagnose after that. And then we can give insights into what the next steps are. And then we can bridge into what your one-on-one coaching is from that point. But the assessment is one of the most important things in creating more opportunities, which is exactly my whole presentation today. Creating more opportunities to be able to assess our ideal types of clients. The more times you can do that, the more clients you guys are going to get, the more opportunity you guys are going to have for premium coaching clients, right? I said this in a training months ago and one of the priming podcasts months ago. And Tyler, who's not on the call, he really took this home and gravitated towards it. At the end of the day, guys, like if you really want to grow your coaching business and get to where you want to go financially, you can't see yourself as a coach. I know this sounds weird, but you can't see yourself as a coach, especially when it comes to getting clients and client acquisition. You need to see yourself as a problem solver. Let that sink in because you can't get clients unless you identify problems that you can solve, right? You just can't. So the more you see yourself as a problem solver for your ideal clients, and like every single day you wake up and like the first thing you think about when you're having your sip of coffee is how can I solve problems for people today? How can I help identify potential problems, roadblocks for my ideal client and give them some options to solve it? Like that should be your mindset almost day in and day out, day in and day out, because you're a coach after you go through that, right? You're not a coach before you go through that because you don't have the opportunity to coach until you can first understand the problem your ideal client has, help them be aware of it, and then talk about next steps from there. So that's what we're talking about today. And inside of the core message when it comes to this assessment process is you want to make it clear, especially for all your offers, because I know all your offers like the back of my hand now. We've been working together for some time. And even you, McKenna and Jacob, your value video, really, really good, by the way. Um, your all of your offers are very good. They're very deep. They're holistic in a way, not that you're holistic coaches, but you communicate other areas in their life that improve once they go through your offer. So our marketing for this assessment needs to be in alignment with that, right? It's not just, hey, here's another 12-week crash course to health and fitness. Here's another 12-week challenge. It's really understanding why have you not seen results over the last 10 years, right? Do you guys understand the difference between here's how to burn belly fat in the next 6 weeks versus here's why you haven't seen the health and fitness results that you want to see over the last 10 years? One problem is worth tens of thousands of dollars. The other problem is worth $39.99. I'm kind of joking, but not really. Right. So the more we can communicate in that way, especially for this, the ideal types of clients that we're going to attract are going to be higher quality over time. Why? Because the problem that we're solving and how we're communicating that problem is a lot deeper, right? Is a lot more painful, is more specific. And that's exactly what this is today. So positioning this offer, how we want to do it is talk about some of these elements, how this what this offer can be. This is a missing link to maybe why you've hired coaches before, but you haven't seen results, right? Maybe you've hopped on different programs, PDF programs, Train Heroic programs before, but you didn't go through this assessment process, so it didn't exactly work for you because it may have been shoving a circle peg into a square hole, right? It wasn't exactly aligned for you. Most programs just start with the workouts right away, not the truth of what you actually need, right? Your body's not broken, but the approach that you've been given over the last 5 years, that's what's been broken. And this 3-day assessment process will help you understand exactly why. So you guys see where I'm going with this? I'm identifying the deeper problem because if we can identify the deeper problem in this assessment process, it becomes so much more easier to sign a client on the back of it. So much more easier because now everybody is congruent in terms of what offer it is that you guys have and who you are, what you do, how you could potentially help them. That's exactly what we want. So going even deeper into this in terms of marketing, right? Because we're going to go through like a week of marketing, what this can look like. What does true personalization look like? We want to show our frameworks, maybe show some of our assessment process. What does it actually look like to go through, let's say, a lifestyle assessment and then see some tweaks and adjustments in the results that that has in that individual's life when it comes to sleep, when it comes to not being short with their spouse as much. Some of these different elements, right? Their body, their lifestyle, their hormones. How can we speak to this? Because I've got a whole marketing plan for you guys after this that I'm going to give you that you guys can put your own spin on to be able to, again, make sure that we're attracting quality, ideal types of clients to this offer. Because the whole thing with this mini offer of this assessment is that I actually don't want you guys getting like 20 people signed up for it. I want you getting like 6 people signed up for it. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a lot because the quality that's coming in is going to equal quality out into actual clients. Anyway, so this is the process, guys. What I'm talking about now is just what's going to be our marketing message? What kind of content can we create over the next few weeks to get people into what this assessment offer looks like? That's step number one. We're filling the funnel, right? Marketing invitations, marketing invitations. What I mean by marketing is your content in your Instagram stories, things like that. What I mean by invitations is saying, "Hey, Dennis, I know we've been talking over the last 5 months. I actually think this would be a perfect first step for you, especially as we're going into the fall and everybody's thinking about a reset. Here's exactly what it looks like. Let me know your thoughts, right? It's a personal invitation to some of the people in your leads. This is step number one. This is the most important step, just filling the funnel. And then I'll get into step two, step three, step four, step five in a second. But it's actually, I know this kind of looks like there's a lot of steps. It's actually not. It's actually very, very simple. So that's a whole process, guys, in terms of marketing and what this marketing message could be. In terms of lead gen over the next, I would say, few weeks, to fill the funnel, just like I showed you here, what I would do is set your quota. This is just an example for the sake of this training, but set your quota. Maybe it's 30, maybe it's 40. I would individually message them all, voice note them all, depending on what your unique flow looks like. And I would tell them about what this assessment is and why you're giving it out and what it looks like and the results that they can see at the end. And even for maybe not all 30 or 40, but maybe like for the top 10, maybe I'd send them a quick like 5, 6 minute loom on what this offer is and just send that out for like 2 to 3 people a day for a week and really get some good attention into what this offer is because this offer is going to get you clients 1000%. I'm going to show you why in a second. But it's a really good time of year to be able to run it because for a lot of you, not all of you, like Colby, I know you're busy as hell right now with athletes and things like that. But for some of you guys, August is kind of the dog days of the summer. And I'm not trying to put a false belief out there because absolutely you can still get clients, you can still do everything, but it's just that one fucking month of the year where people are traveling, they got this, they got that, right? So a process like this can really help identify the right kinds of people, just slowly start that process of client acquisition. So then near the end of this month, we're ready to just acquire clients. We're ready to sign on the next 5 clients that we want to get inside of our coaching program and charge for this. This is the most important thing. Charge for this. Now you're not like making any money on it, right? Like this is pocket change, but it's not for you to make money. It's for the person to be committed and for the person to consume it and go through it. Because if they spend $47, $97, whatever it is, I honestly don't care really what the price point is. It's less about the money you make and it's more about them just being committed to it. Because I'd rather you get 3 people signed on for this, paying $47 versus 10 people completely for free. The quality of the lead is like completely different. In fact, they're actually not a lead anymore. Now they're a customer. Big difference. Now they're in your world. Big difference. Big difference. So anyway, more on this in a second, but because you're going to understand why we're charging for this once I show you what this process actually looks like. So that's step number one, marketing in invitations. And then step number two is just getting signups. People you guys have been talking to, you guys all have big pipelines, big lead lists, right? Over the last few months, shit, over the last year of you guys inside of this program. Some of those people who've been on the fence, some of those people who booked in a call, but for whatever reason didn't sign up or something came up, whatever it is, these are people who it's a great offer for. Just get that initial commitment, that initial yes, because it's going to set up for the next step, which is going to be your home run. Dr. Cody is a great example of this, actually. He's got, you guys can look this up. It's a link in his bio. He's got his executive gains one-on-one coaching program for his ideal client, which is like, I think 7.5K for 6 months. But this is his executive assessment. It's a lot cheaper. Reason why it's just a first assessment with him with a call where he's going through everything in terms of where things are at, what the main problem is that you have. And then at the end of that call, he talks about his coaching, which is his next level, right? And then whatever they paid for this, he just applies this to his executive gains coaching, which is his actual one-on-one coaching program. So for Dr. Cody, sometimes this is his goal for some leads who might not be all the way there yet. They might not totally think Cody's their guy, Cody's their coach. Well, this is a good way to just understand where things are at for them right now, right? Now, he goes a little bit deeper than maybe some of you, like he'll get labs and things like that. Don't necessarily recommend that on the front end because it might be too much red tape. I have a simpler way to go about it, but Dr. Cody is Dr. Cody. So it's on brand. Anyway, part two. This is probably what you guys are thinking of. What does this actually look like, Will? Like, what the heck are you talking about? So, the 3 day assessment experience is this isn't a group, like, you're not creating a community or anything like that. Although, if you already have one, you can absolutely use this. This is more of a one on one personalized experience where you're giving someone an individualized assessment because that's exactly what they signed on for, right? So, to give you guys an example, think of this like your onboarding for what your coaching actually is. It doesn't have to be the full like shebang onboarding that you guys have built out, but think of extracting some of those elements of onboarding and then putting it in to what this mini offer is. Because if they pay whatever, let's say $100 for this, work with you for 3 days for these three assessments, this builds huge desire for your coaching, right? Because you just identified the main problems that this person has. And what I would recommend is some sort of a movement or workout assessment. What are they currently doing? What's their current protocol? They should send this to you on day one, right? Can you get them to do a squat pattern, a hinge pattern, push, pull pattern, just to kind of see how they move, right? What kind of limitations are there, some of their biomechanics holding them back, right? This is day one. Or heck, if you guys don't want to do that, just get them to send you what their workouts are right now. Guarantee you can pull holes in that. Guaranteed. What does their programming look like? So day one is more so around that programming. How can we assess their programming, their movement, what's going on there? Okay, that's day one. Day two could be nutrition. Again, same thing. Track everything that they eat in a day. What does this look like? And I'm not saying you get them to track like this. I would say you can if you want. I would say make it simple for them. Get them to literally track on like just a quick Google sheet. Everything you put in your mouth in a day. Oh, that could go interesting ways. Anything you eat in a day, put it on a Google sheet, right? And then you guys can put it into your nutrition calculator and show them the reality of what they're eating and where things are at and changes that they need to make. So that would be day two, nutrition assessment. And then day three, lifestyle assessment. Very, very simple. What does their day look like? If possible, this is what I like to do for my clients. I like to get an average day of a work day and then an average day of a weekend because those days are very different for 99% of the population. So I like to get an understanding of what both of those days look like and literally same thing. Just write out every hour of the day and tell me what you do in every hour. Just what does that look like? So you guys can understand, okay, how often are they sitting? How often are they working out? Are they watching TV a lot? Do they have a lot of screen time? What exactly does their lifestyle assessment look like? Then what we're doing here is we're just running these assessments. So a lot of what these three things are, and again, you guys can put your own spin on this, but a lot of what these three things I'm assuming are some of the main components for your onboarding of what your one-on-one coaching is. So what we're doing is we're just extracting some of those main elements from your onboarding and putting it into a mini offer on the front end for some of your ideal clients. Now, what have we done after these 3 days? You've just majorly gone deep with an individual. Their trust with you is probably through the roof because now you know a lot about them, way more than you did before. And you have all the, let's say, quote unquote, ammo in the world for a 10 out of 10 value video offer. based off of everything that you know about this individual because you know everything now. Like there's probably no follow-up questions you need to ask. You just went through a lifestyle audit, you just went through a nutrition audit, you just went through a movement audit. There might be some little other things, but you have more than enough now. And they paid you $47, $97, whatever it may be. They're a customer. If you get three people onto this, five people onto this, 10 people onto this over time, this is where you can turn customers into clients. And this is a great snapshot into just identifying the problem, like where are things at? And hey, by the way, let's say Alvi, I'm going through your lifestyle assessment and I'm saying, I'm not giving you advice right away, right? I'm not saying, hey, you should change this, you should change that, you should do this, you should do that, right? I'm saying, Alvi, man, and obviously it's hypothetical, but Alvi, man, I gotta be honest with you, brother. If you keep living in this way, you're going to continue gaining weight. Your stress hormones are going to go through the roof. This might happen in your life. This might happen in your career. I don't want that for you. Right. And if you guys know, because I use the doctor example as well. Right. And again, put your bias, regardless of what you think about doctors, aside for a second. What are doctors really good at? They'll help you understand the severity of your issue if you don't solve it. Right. And that's actually good sometimes because it lights a fire under your ass to fucking solve this issue. Right. Like, hey, if this goes left untreated, here's potentially what could happen 5 months from now, 3 years from now, whatever it may be. So for you guys, you want to obviously ethically do this, but do it in the same way because it's 100% true. Any of you guys listen to my top 20 podcast around the mindset of investing, and I got a little hot and heated. um, Reason why I got hot and heated because it's every fiber in my being. I 100% believe this. A lot of you guys on this call right now, and myself included, from time to time, you're too chill. You're too relaxed about people signing on and about their health and things like that because sometimes people need a little bit of a wake up call. And it's okay, even if it's not in your personality, because it's not really in my personality to be like direct like that. But sometimes I have to be because that's what that person needs. And I know if I'm not that way, they're not going to take that next step. And that next step can potentially change their life. Fuck, that next step could potentially save their life. And I know I'm being extreme right now, but for a certain percentage of the population, that is true. And some of you guys need to act like that more. I'm going on a tangent now, but it's true. So bringing it back to this 3-day assessment just gives you kind of a sneak peek into what this looks like for an individual. So we can show them, we can identify all these problems in their life, and then we can show them what our coaching can look like for them, right? Based off where things are at, based off their assessments. 100% Justin. 100%, man. And this is why, like, for example, because I talk about this a lot, charging $1,000 a month for your coaching. Colby charges $1,500. You guys know that? A month for a year. 1,500. He's on this call right now. Now, I'm not saying you need to raise your prices or anything like that. I'm just saying that the value of the work that you guys provide is is invaluable. Like it is so valuable to an individual. You guys need to act like it. You got to act like it and you got to know it with every fiber in your being. You got to know it because the alternative of poor health is bleak, man. It is not good. You guys are getting me going today. But it's true because if this is kind of like the underlying like energy that you guys need to have with this assessment process. Um, because it's not just about like, let's say I sign on with this with Dustin. And Dustin's like, okay, well, yeah. So like you could eat a little better, you could train a little better, you could sleep a little more, and it'll help you burn some more body fat. and look better in your bathing suit. And that's a that's cool, but I'm probably not going to spend thousands of dollars on coaching just for that, right? The way that he explained that to me, right? But if he went even deeper on all the information I just gave him, it's the same information I gave him, right? In terms of day one, day two, day three. And he's like, okay, well, so before I get into some next steps here, I just want you to know I've noticed some trends in your lifestyle, some trends in your diet and your nutrition and your training that if you don't fix them relatively soon, it could, as you get older, lead to bigger problems down the road. And I don't want to see that for you, man. Especially because I know you're a father, especially because I know you have three young daughters, especially because I know you run a business, you have a lot of clients. How you need to be coached is very different than, let's say, the other 90% in the population. So that's why I think we should slowly start making these changes as soon as possible. And Dustin's not being pushy, but he's just being direct with the facts that he sees and individualizing it for me and helping me understand, like, hey, we need to start taking action on this now because you're not getting any younger. Like, let's live the highest quality of life that you can live now. And I'm listening because what most coaches do is the opposite of that. Most coaches try to get me to book in a call and they'll try and pitch me on their program and talk about some of these different things that they're coaching and keep telling me about their coaching, their coaching, their coaching, their coaching. But I'm not listening yet until you first lay out the issues that I need to solve. Because when you lay out the issues that I need to solve, now I'm listening to your coaching. Now I'm listening to your solutions, right? Now I'm listening to what it would look like to work with you. And that's the entirety of what this offer is, this assessment offer is essentially just identifying the problems for your ideal client. Because the biggest value, this is like such a buzzword in coaching, right? Like provide value, provide value, provide value, right? Especially at the beginning for these ideal clients that we all want to work with. At the beginning stages for your relationship with these ideal clients, the most value that you could provide is not the solution, it's clarity on the problem. Because if you guys put the cart before the horse and you try to hammer solutions before they have clarity on the problem or depth of the problem, then they're not receptive to what you're saying, right? Again, circle peg into a square hole. Like it's just not working. It's just not working. But if you get extreme clarity on the problem and you can provide depth to the problem, not surface level, but depth to the problem, and then we talk about your solution, now this is the perfect glove fit solution, right? And the perfect sequence to what you guys are doing. Anyway, I got way off track there, but hopefully, hopefully that got the message across in terms of where things are at. So that's running the assessments and how you guys can run these assessments to go even deeper on it. Um, like I said, this can be very easy to do, right? It doesn't have to be like join this group or like sign up to this email sequence or things like that. Let's say, Justin, I sign on to this for you. It can literally be okay, over the next 3 days, I'm going to give you like the steps I need you to go through. And I just need you to do them every single day. And we can just communicate through the DMs or we can just communicate through email, like whatever your preferred communication is with your customer. But you don't have to like set up all these different like tech systems and things like that. It can literally just be one-on-one because again, to future pace this, if we do this, Justin, I go through this with you over the next 3 days, movement assessment, nutrition, lifestyle. Okay. And then we're done. I'll talk about the next steps here in a second, but now we're done. I'm not looking at any other coaches except for you. Like you have my undivided attention at this point, right? Like it's not like I'm going to be on day 3 and I'm going to go hire this other coach because like my attention, my energy, my focus is like all with you, man. Like do you understand the power, the ethical power that has? Like I'm in your world, dude. Like I'm ready for whatever next step you have. I'm not signing on to like all these different assessments. Like you have my attention. So now we want to go through the assessment process and then we want to get into the next step. But before I get into the next step, again, just a quick recap. At the end of these 3 days, you've identified deeper problems with your ideal clients. You've identified the goals that they have because they paid you money and they're going through these assessments. You probably have some dialogue with them. So you can ask questions like, hey, by the way, why is this important to you? What is this going to help you with? What's your main overall goals that you have? What, if you don't mind me asking, what have you tried before and why hasn't it worked? So you're getting like all the data points that you need, right? All the data points that you need. And then we can get into the next step. So we've gone through the 3 days. Powerful. Thanks, Avi. We can go into the 3 days now. We've got all the assessments, we've got all the information that we need from an individual. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to give them a no-brainer offer. So this is very similar to some of the other clinic processes that I've ran with you guys, where they go through the challenge or the clinic, and then on the last day, there's a special offer for everybody who's gone through it. So we're going to do that exact same thing here at the end of the assessment process, because what we want to do is we want to summarize our findings because now we've gone through the 3 days of assessments, right? So we want to help them understand A, what's wrong, right? We're not hammering our solution down their throats. It's not what we're doing. We're helping them understand what's wrong. And we're giving them clarity around, you know what, after going through these 3 days, McKenna, now I can understand why Weight Watchers didn't work for you over the last 3 years, right? Now that I've seen some of these different elements and where things are at, I can understand why that didn't work for you. And here's why. And I'll educate you on it before I talk about my solution, because that's huge value. And honestly, I wouldn't try anything else like that for the foreseeable future because it's just not aligned for what you have going on right now, your lifestyle, your goals, how your body works, right? Again, just as an example. But we want to summarize these findings and help them understand why they've been stuck. And then we want to give them what they should be doing differently. Now, this is very important for me to say, not how, because that's your programming. That's like working with you, right? We're not giving them like, hey, here's all the fixes for all your problems. It's just more so, hey, here's the direction that you should be focused on and talk about some of the main pillars of your coaching, but we're not actually coaching them. We're just pointing them in the right direction, like a lighthouse on a foggy day. And we can show them, hey, here's a roadmap of what you should be focused on. And by the way, I do this for a living. And if you want to work with me one on one over the next 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, whatever it looks like, we can reverse engineer what your goals are over this time period and work together on this so that we can get you to where you want to go. If you are interested in that, we can book in a quick call and we can take it from there. Now, the reason why this works so well is because of two things. Number one, you've already gone through the assessments, so you know exactly where they're at. But also, number two, they paid you money. And again, I don't care if it's $1, I don't care if it's $97. They paid. There's a psychological shift that happens. I know this sounds weird for me to say, but there is a psychological shift that happens when you put in your credit card details. And let me give you an example. If I sign up for something for free, and sometimes you need to put in your phone number to get whatever value, sometimes they'll call me, right? And I will always dodge the call, always, 10 times out of 10. I'm busy as hell. I got a lot of stuff going on. 10 times out of 10, I dodge that call. Just, I don't have time for that shit. But if I paid, even if I paid $5, I'm probably going to pick that up. And I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, hey, is there more value I can get? Or like, because now I'm a customer, right? Big difference. Guarantee you guys can all relate to that. Sometimes with like some of my higher level one-on-one clients, if they're having a problem with show rates, this is usually why. Let me give you another example. I have a high level client. They do very well on YouTube. They had a problem with show rates. Okay. People like booking in calls and they weren't showing up. So what we now did is in order to qualify for a call, they need to put down a $50 deposit, which is 100% refundable. Their call booking volume went way down. Their show rate fucking skyrocketed. Absolutely skyrocketed. Why? Because they're putting down a $50 deposit just to have the call with this coach. And it totally increased the legitimacy of it too, because most of these people booking in calls, they thought they were just getting like to a sales rep or whatever it may be. They didn't understand they were actually talking to this coach. So it like 10x the positioning as well. And the show rate skyrocketed just with a simple commitment of a few dollars. So the psychological shifts that happen when you get a customer like that is massive versus someone who's just free. Because if it's just free, again, it can work. And like I have a lot of free strategies too. So there's nothing wrong with it. But the commitment just isn't as there as it is for someone, even if they just pay a few dollars. Right. So we want to give them a special offer at the end. So for you guys, depending on what that looks like, because they just went through this assessment and they just went through the 3 days of understanding where things are at, what's not working for them, and what the next best steps could be. Is there a special offer that you can give them? Right? Can it be 6 months, but they get the seventh month for free, and then you just prorate whatever that looks like, whatever it may be, and then obviously whatever they paid that can go towards the first month as well. But some sort of a special offer, maybe there's some sort of bonus that they get as well if they sign on at the end of the 3 days. Something that is special for them as kind of a thank you for going through the 3 day assessment process, but also put a time limit on it. This is important. Like Colby, I just reviewed Colby's value video yesterday, if you don't mind me sharing, brother. And Colby did something brilliant at the top of his value video, regardless of, I'm assuming, how many clients he has. He makes it known on every single value video, like, hey, by the way, I only take on 5 clients every month for this offer because it's his one-on-one $1,500 a month offer. And he only has so much capacity, right? And I love that he said that because A, it's true. And then also B, it shows so much like individualization, right? And hey, if you want a spot, you can get a spot, but I'm only taking on a few clients for this every single month because it's a high touch solution. And for all of you guys, that's also true with all your offers that I know of. So I would say the same thing. Like, by the way, for this offer, I'm only taking on 4 clients this month. I'd want to personally invite you to it as well, especially after going through this 3 day assessment process. And this offer expires in the next 2 days, 3 days, whatever it may be. These are some different options that you can use for the special offer at the end. You don't have to use all of them, but we want it to be known that this is an exclusive offer and this is something that you're personally inviting them to. So those are some options that you can have at the end. Now, in terms of next steps, this is me completing the sequence for you guys, right? So we're giving them the special offer and then they can book in the call and then you guys can close a client. So just to quickly recap, we're just marketing a 3 day assessment process with you. We're getting some signups, sending DMs, sending value videos, just the warmest people you guys have in your pipeline. We're going to run the assessments and you guys can do this periodically, right? It doesn't have to be, we only do this week of this month. If you want this to kind of be like an ongoing offer you have just in the back, in your back pocket, if you will, based off of individual circumstances in the DMs, then you can. You absolutely can. It's a good offer for some people who need a little bit more trust. They might need a little bit more time with you. Just run the assessments, get all the data points that you need, and then make them a special offer, book in a call, close clients. You won't close 100%, but think about the depth that you're going with someone in these 2, 3 days versus just an everyday lead in your DMs, right? Like completely different in terms of how warm they are in their relationship with you. So that's an example of what a fall promo could look like for you guys. as we're coming up to September and as we can reverse engineer this over the next couple of months when it comes to marketing, when it comes to sending out some of these offers, and then just setting up what this assessment process could look like. Because for all of you, you all have different spins on your coaching and different zones of genius as well. Like McKenna, you went to school for mental performance stuff. That could very much be one element, right, of your offering or one assessment day, if you will. So there's some really cool ideas or really cool kind of spins I think you guys could put on this, but it's a really good way just to get people into your world, right? And just to get people raising their hands and then working with you a little bit as kind of a taste. It's kind of like the appetizer, right? Before you get the main course. It's very much what this is. I've given you guys a lot of examples, a lot of metaphors to describe what this is today. But this is what it is, guys. And this is something I've ran with some other clients, and it's worked very, very well. And like I said, that exchange of just a few dollars can dramatically change things for you as it comes to the quality of the lead and the warmness of the lead in a short amount of time. So. Anyway, guys, we got a few minutes at the end because I'm sure there's questions on this. And I also want to say before I get to questions, the whole intent of this presentation today is merely to plant the seed for you guys, right? And to give you guys some ideas of what this could look like. Because guess what? And I deliberately planned this today for today's training because we have a long runway. We have a long runway to build this out, which is good. So we have time to build this out in the best possible way. And I'm going to go deeper on this in future trainings to build this out even more. So, questions, guys, questions before I let you go today.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Yeah,
So, a couple slides back, we're sending like a recap, a Loom video, right? Can we maybe like value video that?
totally. You mean after the assessments?
Yeah, could we just kind of like, I don't know, use our value video and sort of like hybrid, I guess you could say, like work in the feedback and then I don't know if that makes sense or not.
100%. You just need to front load the feedback. So, like,
Yeah,
all of the data points you got from the assessments and where things are at with that individual. Essentially, what you guys are doing, like, at the beginning of all your value videos, you guys have the overall problem, you have the
yeah,
overall pain points,
yeah,
individualize all that because you have it,
yeah.
right? So the first half of your value video, you just individualize all that stuff. And then you might tweak and adjust some of the action steps, obviously, but you can get right into the pillars, right into everything that you built out for the value video. 100%. 100%.
Okay. And then I got another one. So we're doing implementing some of the feedback from our value video. How long, like when we're doing them, is there like a recommended time frame? How long they should be when we run value videos?
Yeah. Okay. So let me answer it this way. First of all, whatever it takes to get a client, even if you send them an hour-long value video,
Sure.
um, then that's fine, right? Whatever it takes to get a client, like that's always my answer. In
Yeah.
terms of what's optimal, 12-ish minutes is kind of the sweet spot for a value video.
Okay.
That's kind of the sweet spot. Like 15 is good. Anything over that is kind of long,
Okay.
but that's usually the sweet spot.
Yeah, because I was just trying to think because I was looking at our feedback and the slides and everything. I was like, man, I don't want to be sending out a 30-minute video.
Yeah, you guys need to shorten it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have some condensing to do, so I thought I would ask over on this call.
Yeah.
I sent you a DM about that on school, so you can just ignore that now.
Okay. Cool, man. Cool. No worries. Good questions. Good questions. What else you guys got?
I got a quick question.
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
Um, I know you said it's not really about the price point for you, it's more of the accountability for them. But if you were to, because I'm kind of thinking, and I don't know if this would make sense, but having a call on the front end and the back end, and then kind of doing it almost like a week span. But I don't want to like burn myself out with $47 and doing those different types of things. So is there a way to kind of have like a contrast offer of saying like, hey, this would be 350, 500 or whatever, but we're going to make it, I don't know, 197 or something like that. Like, do you think that would be worthwhile?
Yeah, good question. So you're kind of venturing into the range of what I showed you here. Where was he? What Dr. Cody's doing? Because he's doing pretty much that. But his front end offer is like between 500 to $1,000 because he's ordering labs as well. Obviously, there's a big cost with that. Um, but yeah, Justin, if you wanted to do like a front, like bookend calls, like a call at the very start, and then go through the assessments, and then a call at the very end, you absolutely can. But yeah, that's just a good chunk of your time. So you definitely want to charge more. So that will be between maybe like 150, 197 for your ideal type of client. And then for you, if that's how you want to do it, then I probably wouldn't send a value video. I would just do the value video live on that call that you're bookending with them, right? Because then it's too messy. Like we want to keep this as tight as possible. But if you want to do the calls, you can, and then keep them short, right? So like first call that you have 20 minutes, probably all you need, and then you go through the assessments, and then 20-minute, half-hour call at the end, and then that could be your flow if that would work better for you. So does that make sense for you?
Yeah, it definitely does. Because I do, for my ideal clients, I definitely wanted to add in like a benchmark day where it's like, hey, based on your worst case scenario, we're going to reverse engineer that and do push-ups, pull-ups, trap bar deadlift, whatever, and have that. Because then you can, I don't want to say like poke holes in that, but just show them like, hey, we got a lot of work to do. So I think a 7 day span would be best. And then you could have nutrition for a week and get like a better pulse on that. But
Totally, man. I love that because then you're assessing where their fitness levels are at essentially with the benchmark week, right? And then you're showing them like, hey, you're here. Where I want you to be is here. And then there's that delta in between. And
mm,
then you can talk about your coaching at the end.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. This would be really good for some people who are going through your quiz. And then this could be a good offer for some of those people completing the quiz in terms of next steps.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Hell yeah, man. No worries.
I have a question regarding promotion. Are we promoting it as, a 3 day whatever assessment? And at the end, how you would get a video of me, giving you feedback on my findings, or how are we positioning the last video? Like technically a value video slash, assessment of the findings.
Results. Your results. That's what it is. Everybody wants results, right? As soon as you guys go through a test, the only thing you guys are thinking about after you complete that test are what are the results going to be. And you cannot get it out of your head until you get those results. It's
Okay.
like it's just burning a hole in your head, right? Like we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
So that's what like the value is at the end is you're going to get your, let's say, results video
Mhm.
of what your main issues are, what you need to improve, and what you should be focused on for the rest of the year. But going even deeper into marketing, that's what we want to communicate. That's like the carrot, if you will, of what this offer is. But if I'm being honest, man, and this is probably for most of you guys, most of the clients you guys are going to get is just marketing this in the DMs for let's say 10 people who are the best fit for it, and if for whatever reason they haven't moved forward with some of your other steps, this might be a perfect like just easy yes for them. And this is where you guys can get some good ideal clients coming through this type of funnel. So that's going to be a major component is like individually inviting people to this for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I like the results. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, my pleasure, man. Yeah, there's different ways we can like kind of frame that, like the value of this at the end. And just like I said, we'll talk about some of this stuff on future calls. Like I didn't even show you guys like some of this stuff yet and what I have built out for you, but it's just too much for today's training. We'll go even deeper on this probably next week and yeah, build this out in the best way. Cool. All right, guys. Anything else you got for me before I let you go? We're solid. Okay. So this will be up in the modules. I'll have some different like I said, PDFs and things that will go with this as well. Like this will be a PDF down below in the modules for you guys. Um, and then and then we'll go from there. And you'll see this, you'll see some of this stuff in the done for you content for August as well for next month, which is tomorrow. So that'll be updated for you guys as well as we go. Um, Dave Bess in the guide. Yes, he has it coming. He's going to send it to me. As soon as he sends it to me, I'll send that to you guys as well from last week. Thanks for reminding me, Dennis. Get that going for you. All right, guys. Other than that, any questions you guys have, you know where to find me, and I'll see you on the call next week. Appreciate your time. All right, guys. See ya.